Welcome back, everybody. This is Bench85, and this is another episode of Farming Simulator 2015 Season 2. I'm working on the lights here. It's getting late in the night, but we've got some stuff that we need to take off. And you can see I'm laying out a straw trail because we're getting a little shy on bales, and I figure it's about time, especially with the fact that we've got 100 cows now. And we'll probably be adding more, that we should be continuing to get bales. So I ended up planting a bunch. Ooh, actually we're gonna get a little too full here. Planting a bunch of wheat, and figured I'll just bale up a bunch of straw, and we're also gonna have to get some hay. Basically we're gonna be working and doing a whole lot of stuff around the farm here. And this you guys will probably recognize if you're familiar with my previous season. This is probably one of my, I think it is the most watched video on my channel. A specific one entitled Auger Wagon. I'm not exactly sure why it was my most watched, but it also maybe was because I explained how it worked or what it was actually used for in real life. Whichever the reason, or whatever the reason was, I'm not entirely sure, but one way or another I'm not gonna complain because, well, there's a lot of comments on that one still, and it's funny, most of the comments on it are about, well, I just do this because, you know, it's more efficient, you know, this is not what works best in the game, stuff like that. And my answer to all of them generally is, I don't care. I was going for realistic, and that's what it's used for. So that's what I'm using it for. And right now it's actually easier to chase the combine around with the auger wagon than it is to use the semi, because the semi is just kind of a pain to drag around. So for now I'm using the auger wagon. But yeah, we have some chores that we need to do around here, and specifically we need to do some cleanup work, and not necessarily the most, well, fun work, but it's something that we need to do, which means new stuff that we're going to look into, new equipment specifically. But I gotta finish combining here, and the other thing I need to do, actually I think he's going to run into the, yeah, he's going to totally run into the building, isn't he? Oh, and he's laying the straw out over there. Lovely. This is exactly what I was hoping for. Exactly. Okay, now I'm just being sarcastic. I'm gonna have to do this myself. It's because he can't drive properly. I did something really fancy actually here. Well, I don't know if I call it fancy, but I did something with, oh wow, it's leaving straw for a ways here. With how I lay out this field. Specifically, and we're going to go over there right away, I just got to empty this out. Oh. There we go. Sorry, I'll back up anyways. It's right over here, and actually we're gonna have to go around it. I actually planted the straight portion here all with wheat. With that cutoff portion, I have a bunch of corn here that I'm gonna chop off, because we're gonna need more silage. I realized that pretty quick. Silage is gonna be something we're gonna be constantly needing, so we might as well keep chopping corn off while we have the chance. Ooh, there's a semi there. Let's not run into the semi. I've done a pretty good number on the trees over here. Remember, I've been working on those. There aren't too many left. There's a couple down over there, and there's still some standing here, but we've almost got that all cleared out, for our person that wanted us cleared out, or get that cleared out. The other thing here, let me get this guy going here. I'm going to get out and let him go. Perfect. If we head this way, you'll notice number 22 field over here. The number's green. That's because I saved up enough money, specifically with those trees, and I bought the big field. So we have a very big field here. That one's all canola, just because, well, canola is worth the most money. At least per bushel. Well, actually, I guess this game is per what? I forget what its actual arbitrary unit is. But regardless, it's worth the most per unit, but it also yields the least. So it's a trade-off, but I prefer it just because I don't have to ship as much off. And so over here, I don't know if it'll show me this when I mouse or walk over, yeah. So I've got this one half full of wheat, and I have this one 20% full, 19% full of canola, which I'm kind of saving up right now, and I'll ship it out. I'm hoping for like a great demand or something, but I'm sure it won't happen. But what I did find out is I can take this guy right over to there, and it'll actually dump everything in through the bottom port, which most of these do have as a lower port. And then I don't have to use a semi at all, at least until I'm ready to ship it out and sell it. However, this tractor is struggling a bit. As much as I love this tractor, and I think it's really cool, I think we're going to have to sell it. Which means I'm probably going to upgrade the tractor that pulls like the pulls the drill, pulls the cultivator, and our Magnum that we use for other stuff. That's currently hooked up to the drill, I believe. Will be used for this kind of work. So we're basically just going to go to a newer, bigger a newer, bigger Magnum. It's the problem with working on cars all day. All of a sudden you start thinking of Mustangs. And this guy is going to empty out fast. Oh, I didn't dump this. I was supposed to dump this, but it's going to fill this cart up and it's going to stop. And I think he's going to stop anyways, because he's going to be full by the time I get over here. When it's running wheat, yep, he fills up so fast, which is a good thing too. It means we've got a lot of crop. But yeah, this, as we're getting into the bigger stuff here, this tractor just isn't going to do anymore. So we're going to have to move on to the bigger and better stuff. But unfortunately, if I do go into the modded stuff here, because we're looking at probably getting $370 with duals, 450, 500, 600, 620, big wheel 620. Might end up getting this guy, the 370 with duals. It's got 405 horse, whereas the Magnum we're running, oh, it's 435. It's a quad track, that's a row track, and that's one with duals. But I would like to have, and no, we're not getting that one. Not yet, at least. Maybe we'll own one at some point. I wish it was like a 450, but with duals on it. But this will be able to pull things a lot better. So we'll probably end up getting that guy. Which means we're going to need, what, 300,000? And actually we have that pretty easily in the crops that we have stored up. We just got to sell the stuff. But at the same time, we also have to remember we need to save up for the logging stuff, which is going to make us a whole lot of money because our trees are growing. And this guy is now full. So hopefully he starts, yep, okay, he does start harvesting again. Good. So here's another 34,000 bushel. With that, I'm going to keep working here on the crops, and I'll check in with you guys in a little bit. Alright guys, here we are up at the store. We need to purchase a couple things. When it comes to upgrading stuff and being more efficient with things, well, as we push into more and more cows, we're going to need to be able to bale more hay and deal with the straw and stuff like that. So I went and sold the tedder and the rake that we had. If you remember correctly, we had... no, we want to be in tedders. We had... oh. We already had the biggest one, I guess. I was thinking we had there was a bigger one. I guess we gotta rebuy it. Well, darn it. But I know we had this one, and we're actually gonna go up to this guy. So we had a 12.5 working with, we're gonna go up to a 19 working with one. So we're gonna buy that one. And then on top of that, we also sold the tractor that we had, which was this one right here, the T6 160, because we're going to be going to more international tractors. So we got the regular Puma right here, which can't accept a front end loader, and that's kind of what we want. So we're going to go over into our modded category, and I want to try out this guy right here, the Puma Loader 160. And we are going to get it in red. So I don't think it has the loader on it right now. No. Oh, it painted the wheels red. Oh, I see. Interesting. Oh yeah, it turns pretty darn well. Similar to the other one. Alright, fair enough. We're gonna need some help getting this stuff back. The biggest thing is we're gonna have to hook up to this guy and bring him home and see if we can actually hook up to the loader, because that's gonna be important. It's got dual antennas on it. Ooh, she's a little slick. Don't mind that sign I just ran over. Looks like it's got same top speed as the New Holland one. So that doesn't change. Don't know if I like the red rims. But it's a good all-around like work tractor, you know, a small one. I know it's only 160 horse, but it'll do a lot of the work around the farm itself. And actually pretty soon here, we're going to end up upgrading, instead of using the front end loader for bales and things like that, we're actually going to be using like a telehandler, just because it's a lot more versatile. And basically it allows us to have one thing that does just the bucket work, and then we'll have a tractor that's always hooked up to the feeder or the straw machine, and just do it that way. So there's the loader right there. So I'm gonna unhook that for now. We might have to see about getting a different loader, because this is a blue loader. Okay, so it does accept the regular loader, although it looks hilarious because it's not actually where it belongs. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring that loader back, and I'm going to see if I can find the actual correct loader for it. So I'll be back in a little bit, guys. So I had to go to the white wheels. It just didn't look good with red. So I sold it. I lost some money. Lost like 40,000 or whatever else, but whatever, it's good. I also put the black loader on. It's the exact same as the New Holland one, just different color. and it seems to match this tractor much better. It doesn't seem like it actually like clamps on where it's supposed to, the way they're designed to be, but it'll work. But I also want to show you guys this thing. This rake is absolutely ridiculous. It folds out in a really cool fashion. If we get this thing spinning and we put her down, oh no. Watch what kind of area you can cover with this thing. And then this is downright ridiculous. Oh, we didn't get it all. Sometimes it's hard to figure out exactly how much, and that's gonna mess up that row really bad. Well, that's okay. It's not like we're gonna have that many rows anyways. So I can stand to maneuver around if I have to when I'm baling. But that is just crazy. I wanted to show you guys that because that is really cool. So I'm going to keep baling stuff up, and then we're going to get to what we're going to talk about this episode. That has to do with the cows. It has to do with poop. That's right, we're going to talk about poop when I come back. Alright everyone, we're back here at the store, and it's time for a pep talk on poop. That's right, we're talking poop. May not be a popular subject, but it's something we need to discuss. For one thing, we had bought, where is it? There it is. We got a little spreader here. We're going to sell it because it's not worth our time right now. It's time for us to go big. So we need to look at two things. For one, we need regular manure spreaders. We had this one, we sold it. We're going to get the big one. Second thing we need to look at, slurry tanks. They got little ones, and I'm going to explain the difference between them, but we're looking at this guy right here. And that's what I thought. We're going to need the dolly. So this is made to go on the back of a semi. We're going to want to haul it behind a tractor. Ooh. So we're going to need this dolly. So now I can hook up to the dolly with this guy. And I should be able to hook up to this now. If I can get it straight, of course. Oop, I saw it. There we go. So now we've got this guy. Perfect. So what's the difference? Well, when it comes to real life, I guess, there's two different methods of manure handling when it comes to cows. First of all, the most common, the older way, was a lot of it was just taken out as solid matter, so you needed an actual manure spreader. Scooped it up with a bucket, put it in the spreader, or if you had some sort of a cleaning system, such as a gutter system of the sorts in a stanchion barn, you could then use that system to get it to the spreader, and then the spreader would go out into the field and spread it on the field. Why would you want to do that? Well, it's nutrients. Remember, I've been using a fertilizer spreader on the fields to help increase their production rate, how much you get per bushel, per acre, basically. But you have to pay for it by the unit. Manure is free, and the cows are constantly producing. The second way is something known as slurry. The bigger farms use it. Generally, they just wash things, or wash the barns out with water, utilize that. So this farm actually has both methods. So you'll notice there's a big pile there. That's the solid manure. And then if you go over here, you'll look up there, it says a fill level for slurry. So if we hit R, it's going to start filling our tank. Now this tank can hold a lot, and I mean a lot, which is why I wanted to go for the bigger one, but it's going to take a while to fill. Actually, a lot longer than I thought. Oof. And we had over 100,000 gallons in there. 100,000 units. This is going to take a little while. Let's see what it actually comes up to being. 75% is almost 20,000, so somewhere around 28. Or 20, is it going to be 25? 25,000. So we've got about 3.5 tanks more left in there. Now that's a lot of manure to work with, and that's a good thing. It's going to get us quite a ways. Now you'll notice here there's spray nozzles on the back. That's generally how they did it. The other way of doing it is digging it into the ground, but we really don't have a need to dig it into the ground, so we're just going to do it this way. Digging in the ground will actually work like a cultivator and cultivate the ground. But basically we turn it on like this, and you can see it basically does the same thing that it would normally do for fertilizing. If you could drive straight. Well, the downside is you can't actually hire a worker to do this. You got to drive it yourself. But like I said, it is free fertilizer. There we go. I'm trying to take too wide of a swath. I just gotta, take what I got here and just work with it. But that's the way the liquid works. Oof, that's pretty. Downside of liquid is this stuff absolutely reeks. I mean, it stinks to high heaven because, think about it, solid stuff, it gets, pulled out and spread on within a day or so. Not as bad. The liquid stuff, it'll sit in a pit. For, well, the bigger farms, sometimes either 6 months, they'll do it more spring and fall, or they might even do it just once a year. And that is a long time to have this stuff just sit and ferment and ripen, basically. So, like I said, it's not as nice as it could be, but it's free. And actually you're going to get a long ways, because you see how much of a path I had taken. And I'm just kind of trying to straighten it out here, because I messed up really bad. I'll probably go back and fix those spots. And we're we'll be able to do a pass up and down, basically, on one tank, plus a little bit more. Well, that's pretty darn good. So I'm going to run this load out here, and then we're going to go up and get the regular spreader, the manure spreader, and we're going to see how that one works too. Now, if you were playing multiplayer, which is a lot of fun to do it that way, there is another way of doing it. There is a tanker version that I think hauls about the same amount as this tank. You can actually look here. Slurry tanks. That holds 30. This is 25. This is 30. This tanker will just fill. It won't actually spread, and you can bring it to here. And basically, this has got 55,000. So you can haul stuff out to this tanker here, and then have someone else come with the actual spreadable one, like this one, up to that tank and fill up. So you can have someone running the semi with the big tank, running back and forth, just constantly hauling, basically. And then you can have someone else spreading, and then they don't have to keep running back to the farm. But like I said, that only works in single player, or I mean multiplayer. It doesn't work in single player, so it doesn't help me here. But that's generally how the bigger farms, if they hire a company to come in and do it, that's how they'll do it. They'll have some sort of a temporary tank that they can then haul to. So that's where we're out of for here. Let's head back over here. Let's drop it next to the reservoir tank. And this is going to become a bigger, or a more important issue here, the more cows we get. I think we're up to 100 right now. My goal, now that I've been thinking about it, is to be able to raise and handle at least 1,000. We're going to see how much the game allows us to do before it starts to have issues. So now the biggest thing is to make sure that you switch so that you're on the dolly, so that you leave the dolly on there. We don't need it for anything else. And really, whenever I've had implements that use the dolly like that, I generally will just have a dolly for each one so that I don't have to keep swapping back and forth between the implements. Just keep it simple and just use one dolly. Now, I probably should have grabbed it and brought it back to the farm already, but you guys can come with me. It's not that big a deal. Now we'll have to use, and actually I'm not sure where that is. We're going to need to use the Puma that has the loader on it to fill this up. And actually ideally we should have the telehandler because it's got a bigger bucket. But at the moment I don't have the money for it. I could haul some more grain in that I have in storage, but I kind of like having that just in case. And we're just going to take a load out and see here how this works out. There it is. Has a big spreader. Ooh, back up. And I'm assuming, no, it actually is a chain drive. A lot of these bigger ones, they had just a big hydraulic pushback style, but this one has chains, so it shows it as needing a chain drive. Oh. Well, that's cool. It's got a fold down side so you can load it up easier. Well, that makes me wonder if I actually have the ability to load this sucker. We may need the telehandler or something like that anyways. Oof. Well, we're gonna find out. This thing's heavy. This tractor is actually having trouble pulling it. Of course, this tractor is somewhere around the 300 horse mark. Yeah, I don't remember exactly offhand. I'd have to look it up. And I think this spreader requires like 220. So it'll definitely work. But then again, I also use the cultivator with that smaller Magnum that we have, the 7250. And it was below rating, but it still worked. It pulled it very slowly, like 3 miles per hour, but it still worked. So just because there's a horsepower rating doesn't mean that you have to follow it to the letter. It can be adjusted a little bit. So I'm going to park it right here. There she be. Okay, we're not that far away at all. Just going to have to grab the bucket, which I believe, yep, is over here. A little further. There we go. That black looks good, especially with the black cab on it. I like this. I've noticed that our silo, though, as well, is absolutely full. Silage. The biggest thing is if you look at that pipe, and you actually can't see high enough. And by the way, there's bales everywhere because there was 160 bales, a little over 160 bales baled, counting hay and straw. Most of that was straw though. So if we're all the way up, can we load this? Oh yeah. So this is actually going to take a little bit. So let me load this up. And, oops. I'll come back with you guys to finish up this episode here in the field where we are spreading more poop. This thing is heavy when it's full. So we got 32,000 units of solid poo now. I think this has got the same spread radius as the other one, and we shouldn't have to unfold it to turn it on. There we go. And she starts spreading. Nice. So it's the same as the other style, just spreading it out like this. It'll fertilize it I'm over here just to kind of give a difference in how far we go. I know that side will actually be a little bit longer just because we were going at the diagonal for a little bit instead of just straight up, straight down kind of deal. Like this one's gonna be, but we're still gonna do it regardless. Definitely want to be using something more than just the loader tractor for filling this up, because this took a few minutes to load up. And there's another spreader and a half, almost 2 spreaders full left in that pit. So it is going to take some time. Oh, it does have the chains moving. That's the way most of them are. Chains in the bottom will slowly move the spreaded material to the back. Then there's a set of beaters of some sort that shred the stuff and spread it across the field. It's even steaming. And of course you got an end gate. You can see that's the thing that's raised up. Oh, actually you can see the beaters inside. The end gate's job is to hold stuff in until you're actually ready to spread, then it opens up like it is now, and everything gets spread out the back. But yeah, that's the basic of it, and as we get more and more cows, we're going to get manure faster and faster, so we're going to have to be doing this. And I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty certain that if you get to 100% in that pit or in that pile, oops, I am missing again, I'm not watching, I'm talking too much, that it hurts the production of your cows. But don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely sure if that's true. Looks like the spread pattern's about the same distance and lengthwise, so one full one of these will spread about as much as one full one of the liquid one, it looks like. And I cannot drive. So if I take into account the curved portion up there, I think it would be about the same distance. And I don't know, I don't think I'm going to be able to fill up this entire field, but at least get a good chunk of it. Oh, I want to get this part over here though. I don't like missing big chunks of it on the inside of a field. I suppose I can just come back like this and she'll run out about in the right spot. Actually, it's going to run out a little bit sooner than I wanted to, I think. Just before I got there. Oh well. But I think that's going to wrap things up for this episode. Next episode, I'm not sure what we're going to do. We're going to have to find something fun to do. Something a little more fun than playing with poop. But like I said, for now, we have to play in poop. That's how we're going to keep our cows happy. We got a bunch of food for them. We got silage for them. We basically have everything we need now to expand out to a much, much bigger amount of cows. And that's what we're going to do here in the next episode or two, is keep expanding that out. So I'm going to keep hauling this stuff out, empty out my pits, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you all for watching, and as always, take it easy.